to another live stream. We've got a lot to get into today. I'm going to be revealing to you a brand new gem of mine, which I'm very bullish on. I've got a decent bag of it, and I've been dropping buy alerts in the VIP into this gem for probably about 2 weeks now. 1 or 2 weeks I've been stacking it. And I'm going to be revealing it to you today. I'm going to be talking about why I'm bullish, where I see it going, and basically why I've been stacking it so much in the past week or two. And obviously, if you were a VIP member, you would have been aware of this gem already. You would have got it at lower prices to where it is right now. But I still believe it's an excellent opportunity, and I believe it's going to pump a lot, right? I could be wrong on that, but I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm betting on this coin to bring about some good gains. So we'll be talking about that. I'll be going through the overall market as well, updating you on my thoughts on what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with the altcoins. And I'll be providing a update on Avantis, because many of you guys have been asking me about Avantis. Would I be buying now? I'll be talking about all of that to you guys today. So you've seen this list that I've mentioned and referred to many times on the channel, my top altcoins. And there's been a VIP gem right at the bottom of that list. Still high quality coin. It's just not one of my top picks. I'm going to be revealing that one to you a little bit later on in the live stream. So if we can get the likes up, that would be absolutely amazing. Appreciate all of you being on the stream. We've got a great opportunity for you today. Obviously, you should allocate sensibly if you're gonna buy in. But I believe there's a great opportunity for making some good gains. If you watch this video, and if you get a bag of the gem. Now, it's up to you if you buy or not. At the end of the day, I don't really care too much, but I think it's going to bring about a lot of gains. Anyway, let's get into the overall market here. Bitcoin came down, swept the liquidity to the downside, and now we're getting a bit of a bounce here. And I actually opened up a long on a mentor meeting that we were having last night. And if you're on the mentor tier, you'll know. Right when we came down to this golden pocket, I opened up a long on Bitcoin. It was a very quick trade, so that's why I haven't publicized it. It was a very quick trade. I got in right on that golden pocket hit, and I took profits when we hit this 0.5 level. Now, I was using extremely high leverage. Okay, I was using extremely high leverage, and I don't recommend people use leverage to that level because it's dangerous when you use that much leverage. It really is, especially if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to use leverage. Leverage is a tool. You need to know how to use the tool. Okay, so I opened up a trade on Bitcoin in the call, during the call. We were hunting for some potential gems. And Bitcoin literally bounced more or less the second I got into the trade. It was the absolute bottom. And I made, let me just say this, I made more money from that trade in 5 minutes than what I would make in a whole year working the minimum wage job I used to work when I was super young, when I was in school. So crazy gains, right? It's insane. When you're experienced in crypto, you can see a whole year's salary in 3 minutes on a trade. In 3 minutes, you can do that if you get the right entry. So I personally believe the bottom is in for Bitcoin here, and we're going to get a bounce because every single time recently we've come back down to a golden pocket, we've had an explosion. Every single time we've done that. This recent dump here, okay, let's just put the fibs on and take a look. This dump previously that we had, where was it that we pulled back to? 107K. Where was 107K? That was the golden pocket region that we pulled back to. Same goes for the tariff crash. When we dumped during the whole tariff Armageddon, right? That was a macro golden pocket. See that? Wait, maybe it's a little bit higher than the golden pocket. Yeah, it was not the very lowest one, but if you went from here, it would be considered a golden pocket, right? So Bitcoin loves to make these types of pullbacks to golden pockets and then get bounces, and that's exactly what it did. But yeah, we're winning constantly in the VIP group, winning constantly on this channel. Market's looking good, looking like we're going to have a bit of a turnaround. Russell 2000 looking good. I've been talking about this chart a lot because this is your risk on index for the stock market. Yesterday, it actually put in a brand new all-time high, surpassing the double top resistance. Let's hope Total 3 follows suit, because Total 3 has been following the Russell 2000 to the T, obviously with more volatility. But basically, the charts literally look identical. And if Total 3 gets above this resistance, I would say it's game on, it's price discovery. And, no one will deny at that point that we're in an alt season. It will be insane if you're holding high quality altcoins. Now, Avantis is looking pretty good. We came down, we hit the 382 fib level, we reset those stochastic RSIs. Though it is possible we have a greater macro pullback, I think it's possible we get a strong bounce here, potentially to all-time highs, because this narrative around perp dexes seems like it's going nowhere. Everyone's talking about Asta, everyone's talking about Avantis. This is a big narrative right now. And you guys know I made a 10x in 10 days on Avantis. And everyone knows about that now. The whole world, the whole crypto world is finding out about how good of a call that was. And they're trying to find the next one. So all these people who missed my alert right at the bottom, they're trying to find the next one. Quite often, the catch-up trades, they don't always do that. They don't always do that well, quite frankly. They might do well initially, but usually the first mover or the big giant in the sector is usually the one which continues. So I'm pretty confident that Asta and Avantis will both continue to dominate this narrative. And Hyperliquid, right? But all these little copycat ones, which are probably going to start coming out very soon, I'm not too convinced that they'll have longevity. Avantis will have longevity, Asta will have longevity, Hyperliquid will have longevity, but I'm very cautious about all these other names. So right now, you've got a lot of people who miss that alert trying to find the next one. And look, there's some good ones out there, like Bluefin is decent on Sui. I like that. But it's just not as good as Avantis, right? So I think what's going to happen is people are going to be looking around for catch-up trades, and they're just not going to be as good, and then they will eventually capitulate back into the original coin. And that's going to absolutely explode the price of Avantis. So my base case is that we get a bounce probably here, but I have my eyes set on a potential pullback to the 0.5 or 618 at some point. But we could end up going higher before we pull back, which would then mean the fibs will be at higher prices, right? Because if we go higher, then we have to pull the fibs up, and that will mean that the golden pocket will increase in value. Volume sucks. The volume on Avantis is crazy. I don't know if you're talking about Avantis, but the volume on Avantis is $1.3 billion for a $500 million market cap. The market cap to volume ratio. I was going to say price to earnings ratio then. The market cap to volume ratio is absurd with Avantis. The ratio, where does it say it? Here we go. Vol to market cap ratio, 267%. Just for comparison purposes, Hyperliquid's percentage is merely 3%. 3% for Hyperliquid, Avantis is 267%. So it's an insane comparison. But I'll be sharing with you a new gem because I understand a lot of people maybe missed Avantis. I'll be sharing with you a new gem very shortly, which I think maybe it won't do an Avantis style run, like a 10x in 10 days. That's a big ask, okay? How many coins 10x in 10 days? I mean, it's incredible. It really is. And I'm so happy to see some of the statements people have made regarding Avantis. Some of the reviews, some of the things people have DM'd me, emailed me. Mortgages have been paid off because of this call. Lifelong debt has been paid off because of this call. So I just want people to know the size of an impact I'm having here on people. And I'm so grateful to see it. So smash the likes on the stream. I'm going to share with you the new pick. I'll just see if we got any comments before we get into the new gem. Unfortunately, I can't pull the chat up how I normally do, so I'm going to have to do it this way. I can see we got a donation here from Ben Shaw. Always good to see you in the chat, my friend. If we get another 25 basis point cut in October, what will that do to alts? And do you think the 4-year cycle is dead? Yeah, I think the 4-year cycle is dead, personally. I think that crypto now follows the macro cycle. And crypto will probably top out around the same time the Russell 2000 tops out. That's just the reality, guys. Because the Russell 2000 is largely... It largely depends on monetary policy to move it. Okay? So does crypto. Monetary policy is what is moving crypto right now. So whenever we get signs that the overall economy is weakening, then crypto will probably top out. And that's not when rates go to zero, by the way. Markets usually top out way before the last rate cut. So we're looking like we're going to get 3 rate cuts this year and then quarterly rate cuts next year. That doesn't mean we run all the way until the end of next year. Okay, if you look at past cutting cycles, the first few cuts can be bullish, but it doesn't mean every cut after will be bullish. They have diminishing effects. So maybe the October cut is very bullish, but then the December one loses a lot of its hype. And maybe by December, the labor market's in such a dire condition that the market requires a 50 basis point reduction and the Fed don't give it. So a lot can change between now and then. We have unemployment figures coming out tomorrow, unemployment claims. I might be bringing that to you live on the channel. But a lot can happen with the data. So as much as I like to put times on things, and I have in the past, that's no longer me, guys. That's kind of in the past. Now I'm looking at the levels on the charts because it's just gambling trying to predict the day of the top, the week of the top. It's just gambling. You have to react to the data. If we hit a fib level and the RSIs are really high and everything's flashing sell, all my pro indicators that I use from Chart Prime, if they're all flashing sell, then I'm reactive and I sell. I don't try and preemptively predict months in advance with a crystal ball the day I'm going to sell. No, I react to the data. I react to rejections on charts. I react to fib levels getting hit. I react to bearish divergences. And if you're looking at having some aid with an exit strategy, my genius technical analyst, one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life, he created an entire document on how to exit the market, which is linked down below. The crypto exit strategy goes in depth on all the different charts he's looking at, all the levels he's looking at. It really is a thorough guide. And I'm not exaggerating. Cryptex is one of the most productive, intelligent individuals I've ever come across. He's a pro trader. So anyway, I'm going to share with you the latest gem, which is Zora. So smash the likes on the stream. Now, we've known about Zora for a while. I've talked about it on the channel a couple of times in the past, months ago. And it had this big run up, okay? And I said to people who were trying to buy it up here, it's going to dump a lot. People even in my VIP group were trying to buy Zora, believe it or not, up here. And I'm not trying to bash them, but I told them, wait for the golden pocket. I said, projects like this, which are new, which have impulsive moves to the upside, typically draw down to the golden pocket on a macro scale. Guys, I've been in the altcoin game for years and years now. I do this full time, 16 hours a day. Doesn't mean I'm always right, but I can see things in advance and make predictive assumptions. And I tried to warn people who were buying Zora up here that it was going to pull back a lot more. And they didn't listen because they had the FOMO. I'm going to miss Zora. I'm going to miss Zora. That's the FOMO they had. And I told them, wait. High RSIs, big move. We're going to have a golden pocket hit. I said it. Now, I had this on my radar the whole time. I had it on my watch list the whole time. I was patiently waiting for my level to be hit because I don't get greedy. I don't jump into things with FOMO. No, I patiently wait. And look, sometimes I'll miss a coin. You know, with Zora in the past, I was actually patiently waiting for a golden pocket to be hit back here, and it never happened. It was never to be. So I missed this run up here on Zora. I was waiting for the golden pocket here, and it didn't happen. So I missed that opportunity. So sometimes you will miss the level that you're waiting for. You will sometimes miss it, but you got to stick to your principles. I can't stress this enough. Sometimes I get the urge to deviate away from my principles. This coin's different. This opportunity is unique. I need to jump into it. But so frequently, I'm glad that I stick to those principles. Same goes for researching projects. People always try and get me to buy a project, and I tell them, look, my criteria doesn't tick the boxes. Doesn't have centralized exchange listings, or the team isn't doxed, or whatever, right? Doesn't tick the boxes. And they always try and make excuses, try and make exceptions. This one's different. So frequently, when I say, no, it doesn't fit my criteria, in the future, I'm glad I made that decision. So I have a very strict criteria when it comes to crypto. And Zora matches the criteria. And anyway, it came down to that golden pocket that I was waiting for. And it hit. So I struck. And I bought Zora in this pocket. That is where I bought. And now you can see it's starting to leave the station. Now, I believe you've still got a lot of time left. Just for those who don't know, a move just to all-time highs from where we are now is still a 2.2x away. So you've still got time before it surges and goes into price discovery mode, right? But I believe time is running out, and before we know it, Zora will probably be back above 0.01. Sorry, 0.1, 10 cents. Before we know it, it'll be back above 10 cents. Not going to be long before we see that. So I'm bullish on it. Cryptex also looked at the chart himself, and I'm pretty sure he saw some good signs with the chart. You can see on the prime oscillator here, we've got a bullish divergence. We've got low stochastics. We've got low RSIs. Now, we are looking for a breakout here. On this resistance line. If we get a breakout above kind of 0.076, then it is really game on, and you better pay attention. So I was buying Zora pretty heavily. It's a coin on base, heavily VC backed, social media coin. Not a big narrative, to be honest, that I'm a huge fan of. Gonna be honest, social media coins and NFTs and all of that, it's not the best narrative. A lot of these coins have flopped. So I'll give you that little devil's advocate caveat there. But you can see that it is a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum, which prioritizes NFTs and media. So it's actually on base. And it's basically a whole social media site, which is Web3. Integrates NFTs, influencer tokens, or creator tokens, whatever you call them. And you can have ownership within some of these images that people post. So they raised $60 million. This isn't a joke, okay? $60 million. And one of the biggest backers was Coinbase Ventures, okay? They raised $50 million alone from Horn Ventures, Coinbase Ventures, and Kindred Ventures. $50 million alone from those three VCs. So $60 million raise, which is very good, especially for a project in this category. Solid app, good backing. It's on Coinbase as well. This base narrative has been very hot lately. I'm expecting it to do quite well, personally. So this is the site. I'm not going to scroll down too much because sometimes you get pictures which aren't necessarily inappropriate, but I just don't want to share them, okay? So, yeah, I'm pretty bullish on this. I think it's going to have a nice run up. Web3 social media is a narrative in crypto which hasn't fully hit on yet, but if one of them does hit on, it has endless potential because how high are those Web2 social media companies, right? Snapchat, Facebook, X. How much did Elon Musk buy X for, you know? And look, I'm not saying Zora is going to go anywhere near those companies. I don't think it will, but crypto allows for over speculation. And if we are going into an alt season, I think a project like this will do very well. So we can reveal the coin in this list now, which is Zora. VIPs, as I said, got it right at the bottom. And it's in the kind of Web3, let's just say, category. Web3 social media, NFT category, kind of integrating all of those things together. And for me, look, the fundamentals of a project, they do matter, right? But for me, what matters more is the backing, the exchanges, and the chart. I've seen projects with stupid fundamentals, which had good exchanges, good backing, and a good chart do really, really well. And then I've seen projects with great fundamentals, but no backing and a weak chart really do bad. So for me, really, the big thing is backing, chart, exchanges. Those are the big things for me. So it is at the bottom of my list in terms of top alts, in terms of my top 11. But, you know, it's my 11th favorite coin, which is pretty good. You know, there's thousands or millions of crypto coins, and out of all of them, right now, it's my 11th favorite. And my strategy with this one really is to kind of, in a way, swing trade it, even though I'm on spot. I mean, it could be a good long-term play, but honestly, I might just take profits after a quick rally because I do expect it to have quite a fast bounce at some point. And in terms of X's, I'm going to go for 4 to 8X, somewhere in that region. I think it will do. Which some people might think isn't a lot, but if that happens quick, if you get a 5X in 2 weeks, that's really good. I mean, some people think a 10X isn't a lot, right? Believe it or not. But I got a 10X in 10 days. So it's more about how quick the X's come as opposed to the amount of X's. I'd rather have a 2X on my whole portfolio in a week than a 5X on my portfolio in a year. Because if I can 2X my portfolio in a week, anyway, I don't need to explain it, but it should make sense to people. I'd rather the quick gains to then make more long term. Because I know, look, if I get a 2X on a coin in a few days, I can then make a 10X over the year with that initial money. The quick gains are what really bring value. Now, you don't want to be too impatient and expect gains straight away. But the quick gains is really what's valuable in crypto. Like I said, I'd rather lower X's in a very short period of time than higher X's in a long period of time. Now, of course, there's a level, right? If someone said 20X in a year or 2X in a week, I'd take the 20X in a year, obviously. But there's a level at the margin where it kind of favors the quick gain. So we'll check the chat, see what people are saying here. What are my thoughts on H-bar? I like H-bar. Can I like pull up this chat alone? There we go. Yeah, I like HBAR. I think it'll do well. Best group in crypto. I've increased my net worth by 40%. That's amazing. Your whole entire net worth, not just your crypto net worth, but your whole entire net worth by 40% since I've been a lifetime member. Really happy to hear that. MJ in it. Really happy, man, and I'm glad you're on the bundle. Look forward to talking to you more in the VIP chats and the mentor meetings. Archie changing lives. Wow, appreciate that. D Fox. You're able to do a tutorial on how to use the Avantis decks. I've considered it. I might do it at some point if the demand's there. Avantis is a super high quality dex, by the way, for perp trading. Like, I haven't actually traded on it myself, but I've looked into the interface and looked at how it works. It is super high performance. I mean, you can, and I've considered trading alternative assets other than just crypto because the same rules can apply, right? I've got quite a nice bag of Tesla, and I know how the price action works on Tesla. I'm pretty good at predicting Tesla's moves. So if I wanted, I could just come onto Avantis, go on Tesla, whack on some leverage, let's say 12x, 18x, up to 25. And I can essentially trade a synthetic version of Tesla through a freaking crypto wallet, through a Coinbase wallet, right? You hook up your Coinbase wallet to Avantis and you can get trading. I mean, it's incredible. You know, back in like 2021, DEXs only allowed you to do basic swaps and you'd have to do bridging and all this BS. It was a nightmare, man. Like, I understood it. I used PancakeSwap, I used Uniswap, I used all these DEXs last bull run and had a lot of success with them. But could you imagine, like, I don't know how old you guys are, but if you had a grandparent and you're trying to teach them how to use a crypto DEX, I feel like it would be tedious. It would be painful. And look, there's a lot of tech savvy grandparents out there, but you know, I know a lot of them for sure would have issues trying to bridge tokens and all this stuff. Bridging BNB to Ethereum chain and then Ethereum to Solana, and you got to go through a different DEX because PancakeSwap's only for BNB and Uniswap's only for ETH. Nightmare. It's like, crypto's supposed to be futuristic. We're supposed to be going forward, not going backwards. And honestly, when I was using PancakeSwap and Uniswap and all these things, it felt in a way like I was going backwards, back in time. Like the technology that was around in like 2010 or something. So it's great to see such a user-friendly experience, right, on a DEX. And it's a perp DEX, so it's not your typical DEX. It's mainly for leverage trading, or I think exclusively for leverage trading, right? And there's zero fees on a lot of the options here. I mean, not loads, but a few of them, maybe. Zero fees on BTC and ETH and Sol, and then a few others. The yen to the dollar, zero fees. I mean, this is incredible, man. Avantis is going to go a whole lot higher this bull run, I think. One of the best gems I've found probably since Sui, actually. I called Sui at 76 cents. That thing then did like a 7x. Probably since my Sui call, this is my highest quality project, maybe. Or maybe Say, right? Or Arrow. But this is innovative. This is unique. This is the type of coin which is going to catch everyone by surprise. So Bitcoin moving up a bit here, guys. Looking quite good, actually. 113.7K now on BTC. I wish I kept that high leverage long open because I would be up stupid now. I really would. It would have been an insane trade. I mean, this is the benefit, right, of being on the VIP or being on the mentor tier, especially because I was on a call with the mentor tier members. I do calls every day. I'm going to be doing another one after the live stream. So I'll be on with all the VIP members after the live stream and a big group chat call. Super high level stuff, especially on the mentor tier, because it's less people and generally the people are very experienced with crypto. So I was on that call and we were looking at Bitcoin in real time as it was pulling back, as it was crashing. And I said, this looks like it's coming down to the golden pocket. The last few times Bitcoin's corrected, where has it pulled back to? Pulls back to the golden pocket more or less every time. So I set a limit order, stupid leverage. I'm not even going to say the amount because most people won't be able to handle it. But I can, because I was staring at the screen and I knew what I was doing, and I had a stop loss or I could double down. I knew what I was doing. And anyway, boom, straight away we shot up. I caught right at the bottom of the wick. And as I said earlier, I made more money than I'd earned in an entire year of a minimum wage job that I used to work when I was younger. So Zora's looking quite good here, guys. Zora bouncing from the golden pocket, looking like it's due a bit of a move up. This is one that I would go in with a bit of weight, not as much as something like a Sui or something like a Sei, but I would go in with weight on this one. In fact, I already have bought a decent amount because I'm very bullish on it. And I like the chart structure more than anything. And for me, the chart is one of the most important things when it comes to a crypto. And the chart on this looks primed. It really does. And if this does anything like what freaking Avantis did, there'll be even more people retired in my VIP group. 10x in 10 days. I was probably sleep talking 10x in 10 days, 10x in 10 days. It's been in my head the whole time. Like it's astonishing. Corey drops the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate it, bro. Check out React. The utility will be used cross-chain and the tokenomics are primed for gain. CO, Docs, X, Binance. Before you say no, do some digging. Okay. React. I've heard of this one. Reactive Network. So it's on crypto.com, which is solid. Let's take a look at the chart. The name is decent as well. React. Take a look at the chart. Chart structure looks okay. Doesn't look like it's at a fib level unless we go from the absolute macro level here, the absolute low. So there is a macro golden pocket on this thing around 59, 0.059. So there's a chance it could pull back to that level before getting a bounce. But I mean, it's almost already there now. So, but yeah, this looks all right. The chart looks all right. Let me check the backers, see if there's any big backers. But I have looked into this one a while back, and I obviously must have avoided it for a reason. Maybe the chart at the time or whatever. But most projects that people share with me, I already know them, guys. I deep dive the markets 24/7 pretty much. Yeah, while that loads, let's see if we got any other super chats. Is Injective going anywhere? I think Injective will do okay, but I could give you 30 or 40 projects I prefer over Injective. Yeah, 10x on Zora loading. I think it could 10x. I mean, I'm pretty conservative with my targets, but it could 10x. Hurricane asks, what do I think about... I assume you mean chill guy? Just a chill guy, yeah. I think Chill Guy will do okay. I like the meme, but we'll take a look at the chart in a moment. Let's just see. Reactive network. Where are we? Doesn't want to find it. This looks all right. Supported chains. Okay, reactive network. Yeah, so I can't see the backing. Maybe this is what it was. There's no VC backing here that I can see. If there's VC backing, then please do let me know. But yeah, let's check Chill Guy as well, since that was a super chat. Avantis looking good right now, looking like it wants to curl back up, in all honesty. Looks good. So Chill Guy looks like it might have bottomed. We got an oversold signal here on the 4-hour with my chart prime oscillator. If you want these indicators, it's linked down below. I'm friends with the CEO, and he's a very smart guy. Put together some great indicators here. So let's look at some. Okay, so that's, where's those fib levels going to? Yeah, so we got the fib levels here. We lost the golden pocket. Kind of using the 786 as support now, slightly below it. So Chill Guy looks okay. I've seen better charts in my life, but it does tend to respect that 786 level, as it has a few times. So hopefully it continues to respect it. But yeah, BTC having a little bit of a move up here. As I said, I wish I kept that long open that I opened in the mentor chat, because I would be up big right now. Because I caught the exact bottom of the wick on very high leverage. But, you know, this is a lesson for everyone, right? Take your profits when they come, because hindsight is 2020. Sometimes you look back and you say, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. But it could always go the other way. It really could. And you would have wished that you would have taken action. So BTC moving up here, climbing a bit, 113.8. The real level we need to break above is this previous swing high, 118K, around there. And that level has severe significance. It's really, really important, guys, this level. I'll show you why. Do you remember this macro trend line I used to always talk about in my videos? Let me make it clearer to you guys. Do you remember this trend line? I used to always stress it, how important it was. Let me make it. What color should I make it? Blue. Look at that blue trend line. Remember how often I used to cite that? It's been in place since 2017, by the way. Every single time we've ever hit it, we've rejected. Until July 2025, we broke above it. First time ever. Now, since we lost it, we haven't been able to reclaim it. We've had two failed attempts of trying to reclaim this macro trend line, and we failed both of them. Two failed attempts here. See that? So this is really the key level we need to get back above to be in with a high probability chance of creating a new all-time high. If we want to form a new all-time high on Bitcoin, we need to break this blue line. That is the line of attention. That is the area of focus. A break above that would more or less, in my mind, guarantee a new all-time high for BTC. And I'd be looking in the 130s as the next resistance level. So yeah, really important, guys, that trend line. It's still very much in play. Many people have discounted it and discarded it now because we've broken above it. But, well, we used it as support multiple times. Now we're using it as resistance again. So it's still very much a significant level. And I can guarantee you a lot of the whales will be looking at this level with great awareness. How's Kaspa going? Kaspa's a bit bleak right now. I'm not really doing much, but I'm still bullish on it because of the fundamentals. But for me to flip macro bullish on Kaspa's chart, it needs to break above this downward slope and resistance line. I've been telling you guys about this now for months. Many people tried to front run it being broken. They thought it was going to be broken imminently, and it never got broken, and therefore they probably got liquidated on these longs down at 7 cents. So that is why you have to wait for confirmation of a weekly close before jumping into big positions. And until Kaspa breaks above this resistance line, it is still very much in a confirmed downtrend. And that is why I heavily pivoted out of Kaspa when it was around here. You know, had a lot of Kaspa, probably overweight. I had an amount that probably wasn't very sensible. And I distributed a lot of that into Sui and other plays, which did pretty well from that pivot. So since then, unfortunately, Kaspa has been in a downtrend. The whole Shy Dash situation was really the thing that started it, and I spoke openly about that on the channel. But there was a bunch of things. It wasn't just that, but there was a lot of people turned off from the project because of his constant political tweets. A lot of people, actually. I had one guy who had $10 million in Kaspa, sold the whole lot. Didn't want anything to do with the politicization of the Twitter account of one of the main guys behind it. But I still hold it. I'm still bullish on it because at the end of the day, the project is still the project. The protocol is still the protocol, regardless of who's behind it and what people say. But also, there was a few things, right, which didn't necessarily go to plan. KRC20, smart contract situation still hasn't been released yet. So I'm hoping for Kaspa to hit 30 cents. It could hit 50 maybe, but 30 cents is the big point of attention for me. And since I got in at 3 cents, 30 cents would be a 10x from my entry and around an 8x from my average buy. So I really wouldn't be too disappointed. So nothing big happening today, but tomorrow we do have some pretty big things going on. We have manufacturing PMI, something I'm not too bothered about, but the big one is sorry, that's yesterday. Let me go off that. Why am I looking at yesterday? Yeah, I don't care about manufacturing PMI. Tomorrow we have the big one, which is unemployment claims. That is coming in tomorrow. I saw it said Fed Chair Powell speaks, and I was like, that was yesterday. But yeah, these other things I'm not too bothered about. Manufacturing, services, you know, all these other data points. Crude oil inventories, there's loads of different stuff, right? But the big one is unemployment claims, because Powell has a dual mandate, and if the unemployment figures come in way weaker than expected, then we could expect more rate cuts. We can expect potentially 50 basis points. But as of right now, 50 basis points stands a very low probability, approximately 4% in October, very low. And 50 basis points in December currently stands a 7% probability. So there's a very low chance that we get 50 basis points. However, if the data comes in really weak, we get a big shocker, then maybe those probabilities will drastically uptick. So for those of you just joining, the new gem is Zora. This is a project I am pretty bullish on. I'm very bullish on the chart for the project, as it just hit a macro golden pocket and showed some signs of breakout here. So I am expecting a nice move up on Zora. Not a guarantee, as I said in the beginning, but I am expecting it. Win says, opinion on Pengu, is it way overhyped? Also, are you, I think that means concerned about market dominance on Asta over Avantis? No, because they're both different narratives, right? Asta is the Binance and BNB narrative, and Avantis is the Coinbase and Base narrative. So they both have competing narratives, which, you know, neither of them are carbon copies of each other. So they'll run at different times. And Pengu, I've never been a big fan of Pengu, you know. I don't know why so many people were like shilling it to me. You need to get in, ignore the market cap. I mean, it looks good, you know, the chart looks good and all of that, but I just don't get the major appeal to it. I mean, it's decent and it should probably run, but I don't get the massive rush towards Pengu. There's plenty of projects I'd rather buy over Pengu. But yeah, they certainly have connections. You know, and it's rejected at the same level quite a few times now, right? You can see it rejected at the same level it rejected at previously. Now it's having a bit of a pullback. Money flow POC is where it is right now, so it might have bottomed. But when a coin makes a big parabolic move like this, I usually expect a pullback to at least around the golden pocket. But it's looking strong. Bitcoin's looking strong. Ethereum having a little bounce. 4K is extremely strong support on Ethereum. And it came down, swept that support really nicely. The reason it's really strong support is because it used to be really strong resistance. And quite often, really strong resistance gets flipped into really strong support. And that's what we're seeing play out right now with Ethereum. I would be a little bit surprised if Ethereum lost 4K. Yeah, I've seen guys like Benjamin Cowen. I think he's been calling for the low 3000s, is it, on Ethereum? Or he's at least calling for a bull market support band hit, right? Which would be around 3.5K. He could be right, you know. He's a smart guy, but I would just be surprised if we lost such a macro important level of support. Like, this 4K level has been a level that we've struggled to get above for so long. Once we finally got above it, I would doubt the move would just be to 4.9K and then we fall back down and lose it. So if we're continuing this parabolic bull run, I would expect that level to be support. Otherwise, I would be a little bit concerned. But yeah, things looking good. Zora looking good. And yeah, going to be heading over to the VIP now to join the voice chat. Get the likes up on the stream. Let's try and get the stream likes up to 300 likes by the end of the stream, which is now. So please do that. And yeah, get yourselves over to that VIP group. It's active 24/7. We have an entire technical analysis section now. New perk of the group. So you get chart requests on demand. So you can see someone was asking for charts on Avantis and Asta, two very hot projects right now, one of which I called at the all-time low pretty much, right at the bottom, and got a 10x in 10 days. You've got another one here, Walrus. Got some fib levels on there, some potential targets. This is where it's at, guys. It's an all-encompassing 24/7 active Discord group. Even while I am live streaming, you have members in a voice chat looking for gems, scouting the markets, talking about the macro. I mean, it's incredible. These guys really should be watching the stream, to be honest, but I'll let them off, okay? They're in the VIP group, so I'll allow it. But yeah, guys, appreciate all of you watching. Head on over to the group if you want to see my next buy alert, because I'm on a roll right now. Been on a generational run. It seems like I haven't really had a bad call in a long time. A real long time. I mean, I was going back some of the new coins. Troll 24x, USDUC 4x. I called virtuals a few months ago. That did a 5x. I called HBAR at the bottom. 10x in 10 days on Avantis. It just seems like I'm on a nice little roll now, and long may it continue, right? But there will be losers along the way, but hopefully it's not for a while. I appreciate all of you watching. Get on over to that group. Use the code AVNT at checkout. That's AVNT at checkout, and you'll save yourself some money off any of the membership options, including the big bundle. And check out the Blowfin link down below if you want to trade on the best crypto centralized exchange, which I personally use. Thank you for watching.